Welcome back to Ask the Expert series here at Right at Home. We have Mari here and we have Huli here in our scheduling team. And this episode we're going to be talking about scheduling and that continuity of care and consistency, and that kind of where the magic happens in home care is making sure we're getting that good match of our caregivers and clients. Expectations are met and we're getting that good consistent care. And there's often a lot of different questions about that. We're going to get into that today. Before we do that, we'd like you to like and subscribe to this channel. We have a whole bunch of information that we're going to have at the bottom of this video to get you some more resources on home care services, things to be thinking about when you're looking for services. So let's get this going. So when you're looking to put together a schedule, how do we put a schedule together for clients? What are the different things you need to think about?
We need to think about the caregiver's skill set. We also take into account, of course, the client needs. We need to match the caregiver skill set to the client needs. So it's really important that we review carefully the plan of care and also the caregiver background.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really important because in this way we're going to be able to select some options for the client and start looking not just at the care plan but also the availability of the caregivers, and in that way we'll reviewing, and after that making some calls, getting in contact with the caregivers, letting them know. We try to discuss as well with the caregivers about the opens that we have in order to find out what will be the best match of the options that we select.
So how do you collaborate? So what's some of the collaboration process? I'm assuming you're working with families, with the client care coordinators. Those are the people that created the care plans, the caregivers and the clients themselves. How does that process, I guess you talked a little bit about that, but is there any kind of questions that you're asking, or is there kind of an iterative process there regarding building those successful schedules?
I will say is a lot of teamwork. I mean, everything is connected from the assessment to the scheduling. The client care coordinators are a vital piece of this process because they get to know the client a little bit more in person than we do. So they are able to say, this client has these needs, this client has this kind of personality, because it's also personality is truly important. We want two people that get along, that enjoy being together, and that create a connection that will fulfill their lives. So besides the teamwork, we also like to check the client's flexibility regarding times and preference, male, female, or both, and we look for create a very flexible kind of trail of thoughts, because that will help us to have more options available for the client.
Yeah, for example, with the families, what we do when we have this list of options, we connect with the families. For example, we can have the perfect match, but it happens to be that this caregiver has a different availability in time, and the family needs a different time set for the open shift. So what we do is to get in contact with them and okay, we have a good match for you. It meets most of your needs, but will you be flexible to make some changes? Because I think it will be a great opportunity for you to meet with this caregiver. It will be a good fit. So we have to get in contact with them sometimes for these kind of situations. And also we talk with the client care coordinators about the options that we have. Hey, what do you think about it? Do you think it will be a good fit? It will work for the client? So we get along with all of them, like the families and the client care coordinators, in order to be successful with the caregiver that we're sending with the client.
Yeah, so that flexibility is important. Sometimes people are, I guess it gets to the next question is, what are some of the reasons why folks may have inconsistent schedules?
Well, first of all, the flexibility. A lot of people at the beginning, because we know that sometimes they're resistant to care, or this is the first time having a caregiver at home, so we know and we understand that at the beginning is a tough process for some people. So we try to be kind, first of all, and just ease them into the caregiver, the caregiving experience, but flexibility is no doubt really important. So the schedule can be successful because we need to change, we need to try. For example, if this caregiver didn't work, we may be to adjust the time, or we may be to adjust the person. So being open-minded will help us a long way.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I will say that sometimes they are not really consistent because of one of the two sides. Maybe the client is not feeling comfortable with the caregiver, and we totally understand that that can happen. Or as well, the caregiver is not feeling well. And I mean, it's like always try for both sides. Like we're trying to be in contact with both of them. Like the client, hey, how do you feel with this caregiver? Is working for you? Or with the caregiver as well, like it's working the shift for you. Like how do you feel with the client? We try to be really understanding with these kind of situations, because definitely we cannot avoid them. And well, the caregivers sometimes, I don't know, well, they have families, of course, they have the stuff to do, so maybe they change their availability. Or even the client, like they don't have to have a morning shift, they want an afternoon shift. So we're trying to be really present for these kind of situations and manage the situation in the best way we can. And also, well, the inconsistency, it can be maybe the needs of the client. Like, I don't know, they got into an accident, maybe they have medical issues, they need a caregiver with more experience, more skill. So we need to, of course, change their schedule in order to, well, be able to keep going with the client. And so, yeah, many situations can, like, keep us having different caregivers, like trying different options, because at the end of the day, we want to have a successful stock with the caregiver and the client, like to give them what they need, because of course we try to meet halfway with both of them.
I think meeting them halfway and I think it's also important for both sides to know that it's you're coming in, it's not often someone's going to come in and be perfect right away. Working with clients, it's going to be a learning experience, and they may not know exactly how you like things done. You have to be vocal, you have to express what your needs are, and have grace and patience with the caregiver so they can learn how best to meet your needs. Sometimes it's a specific skill that can be trained if everything's all right. Skills can be trained. Skills can be developed. That's one of the things we do here at Right at Home, is we have amazing nursing staff and client care coordinators can come out and help people with specific skills, rather than necessarily saying, they're no good, I don't like them, don't come back. That's really, you're losing out on a real opportunity.
Yeah, really when important. We have those kind of situations where they're like, I don't want that person back. I'm like, what happened? First, we need to know what happened. It's something that can be coachable, that we can coach them on. They sometimes are pretty resistant, but when we manage to give them a second chance along the road, they are like, I'm so grateful I gave that caregiver a second chance, because now it's like my family. And we have a lot of cases like that. At the beginning, it's just a little bit of friction, just to kind of get used to each other, so you as client, it's important that you are very vocal, or a family member, very vocal about your needs, very vocal about how you like things to get done, and the caregiver will follow. So it's just kind of try and error until everything is smoothed out.
Yeah, the communication is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes it can also be that, like we tried with a different caregiver, like I said, like Juli said, I'm sorry, it's maybe not looking good, but they managed to keep going, and at the end they built a nice relationship, because it's that, building a relationship, even though we are providing a service, the caregivers are there to serve the clients. They build a relationship, they get along, maybe they start talking, maybe they play games. So is that like understanding that this is not just a service, but also building a relationship with other human being. So when we manage to understand that, point of view from our caregivers and our clients, we understand better that, well, these kind of situations can happen, and we try to solve. Like Juli said, we want to ask always, hey, what's going on, how we can help. We're here also to hear you. So that kind of relationship that we from here as schedulers try to build with our caregivers, is that what we want our caregivers to build with their clients. So I think that's pretty successful when we hear them out and we try to fix the issue. If it's possible, of course, because sometimes they don't really want to be back, or the client does not feel okay with the caregiver, and that's fine as well. But if we give it a try and another opportunity, it could be successful.
And so growth mindset for all parties is really important.
Yeah.
I have one last question. How about, caregivers are people, clients are people, things happen, emergencies happen. How does Right at Home handle scheduling changes, especially last-minute requests or emergencies?
Well, we are trained from the get-go to being able to have that kind of skill. It's important to remain calm. I have a client that used to call me calm and collected, because every time I gave her a call with hey, Mrs. Your caregiver is unable to make it, but I'm currently working on a replacement. Are you okay with someone new? And she always like, you are so calm. And I'm like, yeah. So first is to remain calm at all times. If you are feeling like overwhelmed, you are transmitting that to the client. So our main goal is the clients to feel that we got it under control. So first step is just being calm and just start working on solutions, that be looking for leads available, moving things around. So it's just kind of, when you do a puzzle and you're missing a piece, you have to look for that piece. And so I think it's part of being calm, collected. Communication with the client is key. I mean, they are the first to know when something is wrong, and we take it from there.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say that is also a matter of attitude and action. It's like, okay, I have a good attitude, even though I wasn't expecting this. And here, especially, we are never expecting things, but of course they comes up. So yes, we put the best attitude we can in order to find solutions, to understand both sides. Like the client is expecting someone today, and the caregiver, okay, I need to call out, I have an emergency, and we do understand that as human beings, we have things coming all the time without expecting them. So that's what we do, to put a good attitude on finding solutions, and of course action. Like we start making calls, we start sending tests, emails, looking around with our caregivers, who can go, who can fill in. So yeah, that's what we do. I mean, we're some kind of I see myself as a hero, including you are a hero as well. So we're trying always to send somebody, because we know how important it is for our clients to have someone. So we do the best we can. We're fighting all the time. I feel like that, fighting, okay, against the time sometimes. So yeah, that's what we do. The best attitude and action can be great for these kind of situations, and yeah, have a successful feeling.
And it's also a lot of teamwork. I mean, behind closed doors, when we have a situation in scheduling, everybody joins to help. So having that support system has just really elevated or how we handle these crises, these emergencies. Yeah. Everybody jumps in, everybody is hands on deck. We sometimes even have office staff covering shifts, because as we said, it's not only a service. We are helping people that need things that are so common for most of them, like showering. You will say, oh, showering, breakfast, that's fine, I do it every day. For some people, they really need that lovely hand to keep the morning going. So for us, it's a matter of not just sending somebody because we need to cover that. It's a matter of actually assisting somebody that needs it.
Yeah, it's like giving that extra mile, even though sometimes we don't know what to do. We're stuck, but at the same time, we get a lot of help from our team, and that's amazing. because like Juli said, sometimes they're willing to go because we get like at the top of the list, nobody available, we don't know what to do, but we are doing everything in our power to give that service to our clients so they even go.
Yeah, and sometimes, as they said, client care coordinators, hey, I've been, as the owner of the agency, I've been known at times to have to go help a client if that's what needs to happen. So we triage and we make it happen. So
Definitely.
all right, well, thank you for both of you, for Mari and Juli, for being part of our Ask the Expert series here on scheduling for clients. If you, again, like and subscribe, and we have a bunch of resources here at the bottom of the page. See you next time.